In the year 2000, a tiny company walked into Blockbuster's headquarters and offered to sell itself for $50 million. At the time, Blockbuster had 9,000 stores, $6 billion in sales, and a name every family in America knew. The visitors had a website, a red envelope, and a few 100,000 subscribers. Blockbuster's executives, by one founder's account, could barely keep a straight face. They said no. That little company was called Netflix. Today, Netflix is worth more than $400 billion, and Blockbuster has exactly one store left on the entire planet. This is the story of how the most dominant name in home entertainment was handed the future and laughed at it. The story of Blockbuster and the single most expensive no in modern business.
Take a seat. This meeting has one item on the agenda. How Blockbuster, a giant that owned 9,000 street corners, managed to go bankrupt while the entire world was busy watching movies at home. There is no fraud in these minutes. No one stole anything. The crime here is quieter and far more common. It is the crime of being so comfortable, so profitable, so certain you are the king that you mistake the thing trying to kill you for a toy. Blockbuster did not lose to technology. Blockbuster lost to its own balance sheet and to a number on a page it could not bring itself to give up. The minutes run 9 minutes. Stay for the vote at the end.
It started in Dallas, Texas in 1985. A businessman named David Cook opened the first Blockbuster video, and it was nothing like the messy little rental shops of the time. It was big, brightly lit, family-friendly, with thousands of tapes organized like a library and a computer system that tracked every single rental. People loved it. The idea spread like wildfire. Through the late 80s and 90s, Blockbuster became a ritual. Friday night in America meant piling into the car, walking those blue and yellow aisles, and arguing over which movie to take home. At its peak in 2004, Blockbuster ran more than 9,000 stores around the world, employed roughly 84,000 people, and pulled in around $6 billion a year. In 1994, the media giant Viacom bought the chain for more than $8 billion. Blockbuster was not just a store. It was the front door to Hollywood's entire home video business. But hidden inside that empire was a strange and dangerous secret about where the money actually came from. Blockbuster made a fortune renting movies. It made a second fortune when you brought them back late. Late fees, those few dollars charged every time a tape came in past its due date, added up to something staggering. At their peak, late fees brought in around $800 million a year. Customers hated them. Blockbuster depended on them. The company was, in effect, addicted to punishing its own customers, and that addiction was about to become the opening that destroyed it. The opening had a name and a personal grudge. In the late 1990s, a software entrepreneur named Reed Hastings rented a copy of Apollo 13 from a Blockbuster, forgot to return it, and was hit with a $40 late fee. The story has become legend, and Hastings has told it many times. Whether it happened exactly that way or not, the resentment was real and it was universal. In 1997, Hastings and a colleague named Mark Randolph founded Netflix. The idea was simple. You picked your movies on a website, they arrived by mail in a red envelope, and there were no due dates and no late fees. You kept the DVD as long as you liked. By 2000, Netflix was growing, but bleeding money, and the dot-com crash had made raising cash nearly impossible. So Hastings and Randolph flew to Dallas and walked into Blockbuster's headquarters with a proposal. Let Blockbuster buy Netflix for $50 million and run it as their online arm. According to Randolph's account, the Blockbuster executives could barely contain themselves. They saw a tiny, money-losing website asking an enormous sum in a market they already owned. They said no, and the Netflix founders flew home humiliated. Here is what Blockbuster could not see. Netflix was not really asking to compete with the stores. It was offering to remove the one thing customers hated most, the late fee. before someone else did it to them. But the late fee was $800 million a year. Blockbuster could not bring itself to kill its own golden goose, so it kept it and waited.
In this building, we have seen this exact mistake 100 times. A company looks at the thing its own customers hate most, and instead of seeing a weakness, it sees a revenue line. So it protects the revenue. It protects the wound. And then one day a stranger walks in, offers to heal it, and gets laughed out of the room. We have a word for that laughter. We call it the sound of a company digging its own grave.
For a while, it actually looked like Blockbuster might wake up in time. In 2004, under Chief Executive John Antioco, the company launched Blockbuster Online, its own mail-order DVD service, to fight Netflix head-on. In 2005, Antioco did the unthinkable. He announced the end of late fees, the very thing that had made the company rich, betting that keeping customers happy mattered more than squeezing them. Then, in 2006, came the masterstroke, a program called Total Access. It let a customer rent a DVD by mail, then return it to any Blockbuster store and walk out with a free rental on the spot. It fused the website and the 9,000 stores into something Netflix simply could not match. And it worked. Blockbuster started adding subscribers faster than Netflix did. For one brief moment, the giant was winning. And then Blockbuster did the most Blockbuster thing imaginable. It panicked over the cost. Ending late fees had cost hundreds of millions. Total Access was expensive to run. A powerful activist investor named Carl Icahn, who had bought a large stake in the company, clashed bitterly with Antioco over the spending and over Antioco's pay. The fight turned personal. In 2007, Antioco left. The one man who had finally pointed Blockbuster at the future was gone, and the strategy he built was about to be thrown into reverse. Netflix, given room to breathe, exhaled and quietly began building the thing that would end the war for good: streaming. Movies delivered instantly over the internet. No disc, no envelope, no store at all. Antioco's replacement was a retail veteran named Jim Keyes, who had run convenience stores. Keyes looked at the expensive online war and decided it was a distraction. He pulled back the investment in Total Access, refocused on the physical stores, and dismissed the threat in words that would haunt the company forever. In an interview in 2008, Keyes reportedly said he was, and I quote, "frankly confused by this fascination that everybody has with Netflix, and that Netflix did not have or do anything that Blockbuster could not do itself. He was catastrophically wrong." While Blockbuster doubled down on buildings, Netflix launched streaming and watched it explode. Customers did not want to drive anywhere. They did not want envelopes. They wanted to press a button. Blockbuster, meanwhile, was drowning. It had loaded up on heavy debt during its growth years, and as DVD rentals collapsed and the late fee money vanished, the stores, once its greatest weapon, became its greatest burden. 9,000 leases, tens of thousands of staff, rent due everywhere, in a business the world was walking away from. On September 23, 2010, Blockbuster filed for bankruptcy, buried under nearly $1 billion of debt. In 2011, the satellite company Dish Network bought what was left for around $320 million, a fraction of what Viacom had once paid. The stores went dark, thousands at a time. By 2013, the last company-owned Blockbusters closed their doors for good. Today, a single franchised Blockbuster store still operates, in Bend, Oregon, kept alive as a kind of museum to a vanished world. And the company they laughed at, the one that asked for $50 million, now streams to more than 270 million households on Earth.
Minutes recorded. Before we adjourn, one question for the room, and do leave your answer in the comments. Blockbuster was not killed by Netflix. Blockbuster was offered Netflix and chose its own late fees instead. So tell me, when the thing that makes you rich is the same thing your customers quietly hate, do you have the courage to kill it yourself before a stranger does it for you? Most companies do not. That is why most companies end up like this one. A single store in Oregon and a cautionary tale. Next meeting, A toy company that came within a whisker of bankruptcy, buried under its own complexity, and clawed its way all the way back to become the most powerful brand in the entire industry. Lego. Subscribe. Attendant is taken. Minutes recorded. Meeting adjourned.